What's up, YouTube world? In this video, I'm gonna show you how I got this here decent looking shed set up from this open patch of grass you see here. Show you how I got all that done. If you're interested. Alright guys, so I got out here with my lawnmower and just lowered it all the way down and cut as low as I could so the shed would be sitting on basically dirt. I mean, it's cut. You can't see it pretty good on the phone, on the video probably. But it's, you know, you can see dirt between the blades of grass. So that'll give it something good, hard to set it down on, get it leveled out good. Broke my freaking rake too. I was raking some of the chunks of grass out. Broke my rake off. I hate when that happens. But anyway, so right here, got a spot pretty much. It's a little bigger than 12 by 24. That way it has some room to work, get around it where you can see, because I hate, you know, trying to level stuff up, put blocks around with taller grass. I'm gonna cut the grass this weekend, but anyway, that's where we're gonna put it. All right, so we're on the way back to the house now with it. Just got it loaded up. Dang, my windshield needs cleaning. But anyway, we just got it loaded up on the way. It's about a 10-mile run. So we should be there shortly. So what we're doing is, we can only get at an angle right here, so we set it down, put landscape timber right there, longer on this side, and then longer out that other side. So we set it down, and we get down here, hook it, and pull it square, and get on the other side, and pull that side square, so it'll be even with this building. The shed is finally set down. I'm back on the GoPro now. But now first, I'll go through about how I acquired this shed, and then I'll tell you what all I gotta do to it, which includes leveling it and getting it square and everything. So anyway, good buddy of mine had this shed he bought 3 years ago. He's a truck driver. He used it kind of like a shop or office, whatever, and he used it for a tax write-off for 3 years. And he moved, he was renting the house, he moved somewhere else, and I had to get it moved. He's having some trouble, some people backed out on him, and just, he didn't want that fool with moving it. So anyway, he had $1,800 left on the payoff. So he sold it to me for 1,800 bucks just to pay off, but I wrote him a check for $2,000. That way he'd have a couple hundred extra in his pocket, because this shed's worth more than $2,000. It's a 12 by 24. So that's pretty much how I come about it. Just had it moved. We just got done setting it down. So anyway, I paid him. Yes, we stayed up. He was on the road working. So when he got back last night, I went over there and helped him finish cleaning it out. We stayed out till 2 this morning, cleaning it out. But I'm glad we got that done. So anyway, over there's a fence, and he couldn't get his truck and then get it laid out square. So we come in at an angle and set it down, and then just kind of pushed it. We set some landscaping timber up under it, and he, which I mentioned this before, but he set that under there. We set it down, and he slid it, kind of got it square. But I call him. Oh, anyway, so, but I got him to push that in a little too far, so it's not quite square away. So what I'm gonna do is either get my truck and hook a chain under it with a hook, or maybe get my in-laws skid steer, or get my dad's tractor or something up here and push it back square with this other building, because it's not, I don't know if you can see it, but the front is not quite square. So I'm gonna get it pushed back around square. Then I'm gonna get on this end and shove it up a little farther over, because I want to get it about even where that 2x4 is right there, and then make sure it's square again. So then once I get done with that, I can start piddling on it. Down here, they didn't have tin to drop down, I guess, so transporting reasons. I'm gonna take the screws out the bottom, get me another piece of tin, cut it, just slide it up in there, put some screws in there where I have some overhang so it don't rot the boards out, which they're pressure treated 2x6 floor joists. But anyway, do that. And I think that's on the piece of a trim back there. It's kind of janked up. I'll probably just chop it off and then put another piece up under it to go all the way down. But anyway, and I gotta come down with the trim too to keep the wood from, which I might not need the trim to drop down, just the tin. But anyway, get it where it don't rot. Take this front piece off because it had a ramp. I'm gonna build another ramp on there because I'm gonna keep my lawnmower and stuff like that. Got an old seat right there, but anyway, keep my lawnmower stuff in there. So I need a way to ride up in there, pull it off. I'm probably gonna paint. I'll show you the inside. I gotta replace that window. It wasn't busted, but now somehow before the last few days. I'll show you from the inside, you can see it. I gotta replace it. But anyway, I'm gonna paint the door jamb so if any water gets around in it, it'll protect the wood longer. Because the inside boards here, they're not pressure treated, just the floor joists are, I'm pretty sure. So anyway, this is the inside. They started boarding it and they skid spray painted it on it anyway. But I'm gonna pull all the boarding down, pull that down, build just a workbench across the back, and put a shelf across the top, and put me a pegboard in between to hang some loose tools and stuff on. And then that's pretty much it for this end. Then over here, I'll park motorcycle, got a garden tiller and some other stuff to park in here. And then in the middle, it'll just be some open space. This will be kind of my shop area. I'll hang some ladders, garden tools, or other yard stuff, and any other thing I need to work on. I'm gonna wire it up. I'm not gonna use, he just had this rigged, it was working. I'm not gonna use that. I'm gonna pull all that down. My dad's got some stuff, he's an electrician, so we're gonna get over here and I'm gonna run them around. Probably just gonna put a plug right above the workbench. One on this side, one on that side when I get it ran. Put one right here on this wall because I'm gonna screw a retractable extension cord, like the roll right there. And then that's probably, I only really need 3 plugs. I'll put a little small breaker box with a few breakers in it in here somewhere. And that should be it for that. That's about all I'm gonna do to it after that. As far as electrical goes and inside, I'm gonna paint, I got some outdoor paint. I'm gonna put some oil dry on the floor and soak up anything that's in there. I'm gonna paint it with some outdoor paint I got. And like the door jambs. And then after that, that's pretty much it. Put me maybe a little small window unit in here, something for the summer when it's hot, and just do a little work in here. This side's gonna be, like I said, a shop area, this side storage. So anyway, now we'll get into the work. I'll get to leveling it out and get the painting and do all that, and I'll take y'all along for the work. So there she is, she's all leveled up. We got out here this morning, my dad come over help me. It's a lot higher than I wanted it to be. I didn't want it to be any more than 2 blocks high, but it's 3 on this end, because this end was the lowest point, and then back here on this back left corner was, I mean, that was the highest point. Sorry, well, the lowest point on the ground, and that ground was higher. We actually had to dig like the block halfway. You can see, dig a hole to get it level, and so half of the block is down in the hole. But anyway, we got it done, and turned out pretty good. I didn't film any of it because it's just really repetitive, jacking it up, putting blocks or shims, check the level, jack it up, shim, check the level, like over and over. So I didn't do that because it was boring and was trying to get it done. We worked pretty hard. I put 5 blocks, there's 4 runners under here, and I put 5 per runner, so 3, 4, 5, 1 on each end, 1 in the middle, and then 2 in between that. I mean, maybe it could have got by with less, but at least I know it's good and sturdy, won't go nowhere. And I'm gonna get some tin, but flat sheet metal will probably be cheaper. Just some paint this color, get it pre-cut about 15 inches, screwed in here, and put a screw in here, and then let it hang down to cover the wood to keep it from rotting out. I'll show y'all guys that when I get to it. I had one little issue when we was jacking the front. It scooted forward just a hair farther than I wanted it to and slid off this block. There's only a couple of them that's really, like these 2 are sticking out too far, but it's not really on this one because it's like perfectly with the edge of the wood, so it's fine. But this one sticks out too far. I'm a perfectionist, and I can't stand it's enough not to be right, because if it ain't worth doing right, it ain't worth doing. That's what my dad always taught me. But anyway, I'm not gonna get too stressed out over it. When I put my tin on there, it'll come down here, and I'll just put a little bend right here, so when the water runs off, it'll come down here, because I don't want it to go in that hole and fill the inside of the center block up, because it'll soak in and mush and settle too much right there. So that's fine, I'll get that done. But next up, I gotta build a ramp. It's gonna be a lot longer than I thought. It's gonna end up being way back here, like 12 foot as high as it is, and I gotta be able to get lawnmower and some other stuff rolled in there. So I'm gonna have to come back with about a 12-foot ramp, but it's fine. Finally got a level. I'm glad. We worked our butt off today. So I'll show y'all. We'll get started on the inside and y'all will see how it goes. If y'all want to skip along, feel free to fast forward ahead to either the ramp or the work. I mean the metalling or some of the wiring, because I'm gonna do wiring in it too. So, but anyway, let's hop inside and get started on that. I thought I had a bucket, but not. I use this tote for now. And then my dad's got some old hydraulic fluid buckets at his house. I'll get one of them later, and it's like cat litter kind of. It's probably what it is. Watch. But anyway, I'll get one of the buckets later, put in there. But just for right now, this will work. So these little drills, the Bauer brands, I think it's Harbor Freight, but anyway, they're really, really good. I actually like this drill, and I don't think I have a video on this. I may do one in the future, but when I built my porch, this is what I used, and it lasts longer with the lithium batteries. Tells you how much charge you got. They last longer than the regular D-Watt batteries, unless you get the lithium D-Watts, but they're really good drills for the money. What kind of, let's see, what kind of screws? Phillips head, okay. Well, hey. There we go. Like a little tackle box thing, that works good for them, for holding bits and stuff. Pro tip. I'm not a pro though, so. Just a tip, I guess. Let's start on this end. All right, here. I'm gonna have to get my step ladder. I don't know, I'm pretty tall, I'm 6'5", so maybe not. Anyway. Yep, so that's the one I was been looking for. The last one. Up out after all that. There we go. Let me get all the rest of this off, and I'll show y'all what it looks like afterwards. So that's the last of the installation. This is the next morning. My battery was almost dead on my drill. My backup was dead, so I had to charge those. I got all the wood off, and those still had some screws stuck in I couldn't get back out, so I'm gonna fix those in a little bit. Put all the insulation out. I'm gonna tape it up with some masking tape in rolls and keep them, because if I ever want to insulate everything off, I'll already have half of the insulation for the building. So I'll stick those up on a shelf somewhere when I get them built. None of this is hooked to power, so where any y'all say, better be careful. Might leave a little more slack in there, that way you can pull it out. You can always stuff the wire back up in the box, but you never know when you need some more slack anyway. Just makes it easier to work with you. And on your ground wires, if you're running from one and back to the other, from one plug and out of that plug to another, and you're connecting it on the side you hook your ground, What you can do is when you got them, you know, long like that, twist them together, chop one off, and just have the other one on there and put it under there like that, and it'll still ground because it's twisted below that. Instead of doing like this where it was twisted together then put it in there, that's kind of aggravating. So I got all the boxes out. This is pretty much what it looks like. Well, I gotta get those two up there. But this is what it looks like all cleaned up. So I'm gonna get them two down. Originally I was gonna paint the floor, and it's oil-based paint, and it would probably stick pretty good, probably last a good while, but I put my motorcycle in here, letting it up and down on the kickstand. It'll wear the paint right off, I'm sure, and I could use a kickstand poke or something, but I don't want to have to go back to touching up paint and doing this and that. So what I'm gonna do is get I'm just gonna leave it bare wood, and if I change the oil in something, I'll get one of those like office chair mats you put in your house on like hardwood floor. I'll slide it up under there to put my drain pan on, so if I spill any oil, it won't get in the wood. And I have some oil dry too I can use, and it's got a little bit of stained up already, so it's not really a big deal. But I guess rather leave it bare. I don't have to worry about touching it up. I mean, it probably lasts a few years before I even had to touch it up, but still, I gotta get it where I can put my stuff in here. Put it down, it sticks okay, but then it starts peeling up a lot. That's gonna piss me off. So anyway, I'm just gonna leave it like this. I got an electric sander. I'm just gonna sand a few of the real heavy stain spots like that, and where there's some paint coming forward, just sand that up a little bit and let it ride. So anyway, we'll get these two boxes down, and then I gotta seal up some spots like the hole in that tin. And I think there's one little hole like right here. I gotta put some silicone in that. So let's get to it. So what I just did was, a while ago I finished caulking up over there. I sealed up where that was at, put some packing tape on the front and silicone on the outside. And then once it's good and dry, I can just peel it off on this side, put it on this side, a few other places. So now, working on the doors, they just use staples to hold them together. And I don't really like that, so I just went and put some screws, like toenails, some screws in each top and bottom, everywhere, all the way around it. And so that's good. And this is the paint I was talking about. I had two jars of it from my previous project. Use it, it's oil-based. This is what I was gonna do the floor with, and I decided not to. I'll do that. And I'll probably still do my workbench with it too when I get that done, but for right now, I'm just gonna do this. I'll do that later. I gotta build a ramp to get all my stuff in here first, and everything else inside, like the wiring, I can do later. But first, let me go ahead and get this painted up. It says put a thin coat, wait till the next day, and put another thin coat, and it should be good. I'll probably do 3 coats, so about 3 days worth. And you let it dry a few days before you really use it. And this, I'm not worried about this because I got some like paneling, like wall paneling kind of, that I'm going to cover this whole part of the door with, because I'm going to put either just, you know, decoration stuff, some old car tags I got or something like that. Just screw on that just for some kind of like decoration. Same thing on this side. So I'm not worried about that being painted. Do this like kick panel, and then I'll put it back on in a few days. That old screw wore out. I'm gonna do some, when I do the trim around the bottom here to cover up this wood, I gotta get some more sheet metal screws. So I'll just replace these with some new ones when I get them. I'll probably go put some more, because there's only 3 in here. I'll probably go put one more in between those just to help, like on the bottom side, to help hold it more sturdy, because it's always doing that right there. All right, so that's off. So I got the painting done on here. Test it out. I got that done, and now I'm working on getting all the trim put around, getting it laid out and cut. I got 2 pieces. Oh, you can't see that, I don't guess. But right there, I got that piece on the end, and the other piece, and I'm in the process of cutting the middle one now. So anyway, let me get this tin cut, screwed up on there, and I'll show you what it looks like afterwards. So there's the last screw for the trim. Got the new trim put on. It's the wider trim, so less rain gets down in the corners. Got it put on. Next up is the ramp in the front, right here. So right here is going to be, I gotta do the ramp. Tomorrow I'm probably going to get the wood for it. I'm doing little measurements on it. Getting all the measurements up for it, and I measured the wheelbase, or I guess it's called the wheelbase of my motorcycle that I gotta get in here, which is the longest thing, really the lowest thing to get in here. And I can't have more than, over a 5-foot span, I can't have more than or really I guess 2.5-foot span. Can't have more than about a 3-inch drop, because this bike's lowered. I'd rather it be standard height. It'd be 4.5 inches to work with then, but it's only like 3 inches now. So over a span of like 2.5 or about 3 foot range. So out there I got my level sitting to worry about how long I'm gonna have to make the runners. Plus I'm gonna get 2x12s. So as I get farther up, I can cut a little bit off around it, kind of make it more round and flat, so it's not as steep and don't drag my frame going into the house, into the building right here. So 2x12s will give me enough meat. After I cut it off, it'll still be good, probably 8 or 9 inches thick. I'll use 2x6s for some frames. So I gotta go down, get some 2x6s for the frames, and come out to about right here. So now I gotta measure that and see how long I need to get my 2x12s.